I'm gonna do some house starts here. I haven't done them in a while, but we got so many cars here now that it's not gonna be boring. So I'm gonna just get a video, and I'm gonna start the Bronco first because my dad's gonna head to town. So let's get it done. Okay. $4,475. Still needs an oil change. Go back to well, let's start the John Deere 3005 next. This is a 2009. It's still very dirty from when my dad bush hogged like almost a month ago. We just haven't got a chance to freaking wash it. But it has 150 hours on it. Really low hour tractor. And this thing was hardly used though. It was owned by an old guy. So he never used it that much. He bought it brand new, of course. Neutral. Starts right up. I like the sound of this thing. I know you shouldn't rev cold engines, but it's not cold at all outside. You know, guys, no, it's hot. I'm not gonna run anything long though, because it'll stink it up. So that's pretty much all I'm doing. So here's the Landmaster. It's up next. I'm gonna move it outside. I haven't really made much videos on it since it's been complete, but it's finally done and drivable. This engine runs great. My dad put a zip tie on the governor to make it go faster. And we got the exhaust all figured out. We still got to put a clamp there to hold it, but it's actually been holding itself. And we still got to get aluminum fenders on this thing. But this thing runs great, man. So there's that 670 Predator. So I did fill it up with gas. I took it on 2 rides since it's been going, but I got to turn the gas on. You guys probably notice I'm trying to keep the camera as low as possible. Well, you guys will see here in a second or two. I don't know how long it's going to be, but yeah, you guys will like it. And I did make a short little video and put it on YouTube, so I'm going to have you guys guessing. Get all this stuff moved out of the way so I can back it out. Let's just give her a start first, and then I'll back it out without camera. Yeah, I put like a little over 2 hours on it, so it's showing 86. You guys know that hour meter, of course, is... I put that on myself. Oh, my dad helped me, but... Did have to turn the idle down on this because it was too high to make it not want to shift, so I got to kind of give it gas to start it, but it usually starts up great. I leave the choke on a little bit. She runs absolutely beautiful. Oh yeah, I got LED lights in it, but I only got that one in because that one's got broken tabs, so I got to figure something out with that. But I'm going to get outside and we'll move on to the next vehicles. And I also moved this out because I'm going to take it on a ride after I'm done doing the house starts, but I wanted to get those done. Let's do the Comet. This was actually running last Saturday, so it should start up right away. Might not need to pump the gas, but we'll just see. That's the miles. 35,387. Tachometer down there. They give it a couple. That's all it took. This thing doesn't usually die. Turn that on, even though I won't run it for a long time. Nah, I don't need it. My dad does run premium in this car, so if you guys were wondering. runs really good. Tachometer works as it should too. I love this car. My dad loves this car more than that one. That truck, I mean. But I did turn the fan back on. I don't want to run it too long, but run it long enough to where I don't have to shut it off right after I start it. Yeah. Let's do the Ranger. It's been a hot minute since this one's been running. I know it's got a full tank of fuel too, and that's the last time it was running was when it was filled up, because we drove it around, went on a cruise. So yeah, I'm not gonna get into what we were cruising for, but we'll just keep that to ourselves. But yeah, that's the last time it was running. So it was probably, I think May or June was the last time this thing was running. Yeah, it's been that long ago. It hasn't been started since. Just been sitting here untouched. Sat in on occasion. You know it's been a while. Voltage is a little low, but it's not bad. I don't want to crank it too much. This EFI is kind of sensitive. Let's give it another. Maybe it might have too low voltage to start. There we go. There we go. I knew it'd get out of it. Just don't want to crank the piss out of this thing when it's been sitting, because it's kind of cranky. I'll let this one run for a bit. Even though the door's open, so it shouldn't stink it up too bad. I think I'll put a maintainer on this, because the maintainer is right in my dad's box. They crank nice and healthy though. I'm not going to rev this head up at all, but I'll let it run. Sweet. I ran it for like a minute, but maintainer's on it. And my dad does like running premium in this too, but I might ask him if we can cruise him when he gets back, because since this one hasn't been driven in quite a while. But let's move on. All right, let's move on to my 96 Lincoln Mark 8. I do have the maintainer on it because this car, I cannot currently drive it, which absolutely aggravates me. But the air ride quit working on it. The compressor is not even trying to work. It just throws the check air ride message immediately. So my dad's got a tool coming. It was supposed to be here today and 2 days ago. Now it's next week, because my dad ordered it from eBay and the person still hasn't shipped it out yet. So but I'm going to start it up, show you guys what I mean. Yeah, I was pissing with this yesterday, and I hooked the chime back up. I was like, it's too annoying. I was like, well, there's a screw. I'll just take it all the way out. So I did. That plastic piece isn't sitting right, and there's dirt there, but it sits good enough, so I'm not worried about it. We're up to 120,392 miles. See, it immediately throws it. And this radio has been doing all right the last 2 days I turned the key on. I haven't ran it for, it's been a week, I think. It runs great though. I just can't freaking drive it. I really miss driving it, that's for sure. But I think I did put 87 in this last time. I didn't fill it up, but yeah. This car runs really good still. I just wish I could drive it. Nice LED. No, this a little screwed up sometimes. Nice LED lights. There and there. Just like there. Oh yeah, they were all the way dim. There we go. Okay, I don't want to run it too long because this car will stink it up pretty bad in here. So I'm gonna shut it off right now. Yeah, it already stinks. So far, this is the worst car that stinks it up. Got her maintaining again. So now it's time for the big reveal of why I've been keeping my phone down and trying not to show in the area I was not trying to show in, however you want to say it. Here's the reason. You guys probably seen the video of it, but yeah, I just made a little 14-second start above it. But yeah, what do you guys think? This is my 1995 Lincoln Mark 8 LSC that my dad shared on Facebook Marketplace and sent it to me. Oh, I got a killer deal on it. It was cheap. The car ran and drove. There's no freaking rust on it. It's actually cleaner than my 96. This thing wasn't parked outside like this one was. But yeah, it has brand new tires on it. The guy wired a toggle switch and for the fan because I think something happened to it before and the car was overheating. But yeah, I drove this thing. Of course, my dad followed me. I drove this thing. We were in the Illinois border where this was. It was like 2 hours away. I don't remember the town of it, but yeah, it was in Central Time anyways. But yeah, I paid for most of the money. Of course, my dad helped me out. Of course, I'm going to pay him back for it. But yeah. So yeah, this car has a new alternator, new tensioner and idler pulley. Fairly new battery, clean oil, clean trans fluid. Well, my dad said it was average. But yeah, fairly new battery. It's got its issues, but the paint is not in the greatest shape, of course. It's an old car. What do you expect? For a 95. So, I gave it $1,850 for this thing. And that's what it was listed on Marketplace for. Killer deal. Wasn't going to leave empty-handed, but I'm the one that drove it back. Freaking thing drove amazing. It's been converted to regular suspension. My God, it rides better than this thing does. But I know there's an issue with my air ride. We'll get that fixed, but thing that I liked about it the most is right here. You guys kind of got a little sneak peek, but tan interior. That's what really got me in the car. It's in really nice shape. And the seat, and both seats work perfectly. It's just, this thing's mint. They got 2 keys for it, and 2 key fobs on the keys, and 2 more key fobs in the trunk. And one of them is the original Lincoln. Now, this window don't work, but the guy has new window parts for it in the trunk. AC doesn't work, but I just rolled both windows down and opened the sunroof. It works perfectly, unlike this car. Yeah, I'll show you guys in here. There's the switch for the fan. Works fine. So, steering wheel's a little loose. It's not a perfect car, but and that mileage is actually wrong. The guy said the odometer stopped counting at that mile, so it doesn't work. Tachometer doesn't work. Temperature gauge doesn't work. Because when I was driving, the guy said that the temperature will go all the way up, like it's overheating. But he says he took it to a mechanic and he said it was staying at 190, so the temp gauge don't work. Tachometer don't work, but the speedometer and fuel gauge work, which is the most important ones you need, really. But, well, temperature gauge is important too, but it's not perfect, but you know what? I wasn't going to say no to this. So, aftermarket radio, the old one crapped out. This thing's freaking cool. So, it's just awesome. I love this thing. And I filled it up before we left. And it was at a quarter of a tank. I only use a quarter of a tank and put premium in this on the trip. That's not bad at all. Alright, let's start it up. Exhaust leak. You can shift it without the brake. But the radio works perfectly. Check engine light's on, probably from the exhaust. And it thinks the door's open because I think it has something to do with the window. Maybe a wire. Maybe when the door panel was off, there was a wire that got disconnected accidentally. So, yeah, this thing here, everything works in it except the AC and some other stuff. But I'm not going to complain because this thing's got brand new freaking tires on it. Nice wheels. Interior lights work great. Those aren't going to stay stock for long because of how hot they get. That one don't work. Some of the lenses broke, but I love this thing. And it's got something, oh, never mind. I thought I had an issue with the traction control, but it doesn't. Horn doesn't work on this at all. It doesn't even try. Cruise control don't work either, but it sounds great. It's got a hesitation a little bit, but hey, it's a 95. What do you expect? Okay, this thing's starting to stink it. Other than that, though, the power locks work on this thing. They're actually starting to work well on my 96 as well. So that's good. But none of the fobs work at all. I don't know why. So, well, let's hook this back up. We still got a good few cars to start, so this is going to be a long video. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Because I know I did. But, alright, let's move on. Let's do the 2011 F250. It's pretty dirty in here. Now this one's up to 313,426. Starts up good. 78 degrees. Not a bad running truck. I shouldn't say that. It's a great running truck. 2019 engine. I don't want to run it too long and waste all that fuel, but even though diesels don't really use any. But there they are. I'll probably let it run though when I'm starting the other vehicles. I'll just shut it off. There's my dad, he's back. I guess I'll add a little bonus because I had to move this out of the way so my dad could park. But this thing's nice and quiet though, man. Well, the next vehicle is going to be the 99 Suburban. Get that key out real quick. Hold on a minute. But yeah, let's do this one. This one's just been sitting here for a while now. This one is not safe to drive at the moment. The steering is like this far to the right for it to be actually straight. It's got a screw in both front tires, and the tires are all no good. They're junk. It needs a lot of work, but it still runs okay. It drives okay, but this is just going to be a vehicle that's going to be on the back burner for a while until we decide to get to it. But you know what though, I've started up twice since it's been parked here, but not for a long time. But this thing's never been on a maintainer, but I mean, so it should not be dead. I know it's not dead because it's got a new battery in it, but yeah, this thing's in bad condition right now. It's just it just never got driven when my grandpa had it. He had a little incident on the way here. I'm not going to tell you what happened, but that made the steering worse. So yeah, it's not in safe condition to drive. If we wouldn't have known it was going to be that bad, we weren't going to let him drive this thing 10 hours and 688 miles back to Indiana. But it made it. It did make it. So well, let's get inside of it. I don't know if I had never really done a full video since we've had this thing back, but it still stinks back here. But I cleaned it out the best I could. Scrubbed the crap out of the seats. This thing still don't smell very good. It still has crappy smells as before, but a little bit worse now. I'll show it a little bit. Not in very good shape. There's a bumper my grandpa got for it when he lived in Virginia. He's still living there until the end of this month because he's moving here to Indiana. So, as you can see, this bumper's all fricked up. So, Indiana rot caused that. And you can see there, that's getting bad. The frame's still solid though, so. And if this thing was not in Virginia, this thing would have been gone a long time ago. But hopefully one day I'll make this thing look nice. I know it might not be worth it, but these OBSs, man, you can make them look nice. I know my buddy Zach has a 93. I featured it in one video. 1500 Chevy, 4-wheel drive, 5-speed. And it was his uncle's. But anyway, he bought it, and it was a complete rustier piece of crap truck than this thing is. So he literally, him and his dad, I would imagine, or his family, really made that thing look nice. They took it to a body shop and had all the work done, I'm pretty sure. Man, that truck looks great now. Paint was all peeling off. Sat 2 years, but he drives that truck every day and absolutely loves it. So I know this thing could look that nice one day. There's little bugs crawling around, but here it is. It's far from being perfect, but at least it's not as dirty as it was. So trust me, I'm going to keep up on this thing. But yeah, we're at 22 minutes and we got 4 cars left after this one. But let's start it up. But I do not want to sell this thing because it's just it's been in the family for a long time. I'm the third, this thing's been through 3 generations of the Hips. My dad was the first owner. My grandpa, which of course is my dad's dad, was the second owner. And then he gave it to me when he came back last time. So it's officially mine now. Still under my dad's name, of course, but I don't want to get rid of this thing. I got too many memories with it. It used to be a plow vehicle. I used to drive it and work the plow sometimes here at the house around back, and I rode in this thing 24/7, 365 days out of the year. I just can't see this thing going out of the family since it's been through 3 generations of the Hips so far. It's just too sentimental to me. Maybe not so much to my dad, but you know what, though, I also told him, though, I don't want my burb sold. He was like, I like it too. It's just been a good vehicle, even though it's crappy now, but we can get it fixed up. But I just hate seeing this thing go, but I'm going to try to take as best care of it as possible, keep it in good running condition. But we're up to 227,413, and when my grandpa got this thing, it had like 223 on it. And he had this thing since like 15 or 16, so he barely put miles on this thing. He just drove it to the dump and swap meets and flea markets, and he didn't drive it much, but those places I just said. I did take that annoying dinger out. I'm gonna roll the windows down because I am sweating my butt off. But let's roll them. Oh yeah, I'll just do the 2. Man, it fired right up. I didn't even fire it up at all this week. Just a little bit last week, that's it. Not even for a minute. It fires up quick. It's got a pretty bad exhaust leak on it. Fuel gauge don't work, of course. They never really worked right at all. 4-wheel drive don't work either. Hey, the light's working good. Yeah, four-wheel drive has never worked in this thing really since my dad's had it. I'll let this thing run and charge up. It's got plenty of fuel in it. Transmission shifts great. Radio's not hooked up right now because my grandpa's mechanic thought it was causing the battery to die, so he disconnected it, but it's still in there. So let's pop the hood in it. Yeah, it needs a big time alignment. These were, my grandpa got those front tires used. I would like to put air conditioning back on it. The compressor was seized, that's why I don't have AC no more. The battery's from March of 23. It's fairly new. So, this thing's had back brake work done to it. It's just, I can't see this thing leaving. I'm hoping when we get to it, I'm going to be driving it a lot. But, yep, there she is, the beauty of it all. I don't want to waste gas in this big old hog, but it's not even due for an oil change yet. And all the lights work, but of course they're all turned off because this thing had a bad issue. All these older Chevys did. I know maybe not all of them, but I'm going to say all of them because these are really common. The lights will like to stay on in here and kill the batteries. And this one's, it's happened to this one several times since my dad's had it. So, what do? We took the bulbs out of most of them. So, now they won't come on at all. There it is. Oh yeah, it's got a new fuel tank in it too, I forgot. New metal fuel tank, brand new fuel tank and fuel pump. That was changed in like 2020 or 21. It was 2020 or 1, I think. But anyway, there's the Suburban. Let's move on to this one. We took this one to go check out my new Mark 8. Of course, it did immaculate. It had no problems. Got 19.2 average miles to the gallon. So that's awesome for this thing with the AC going and everything else. It actually hasn't been started since we got back the day we picked that thing up. So let's do a start. I won't sell this one anytime soon either because this is a good everyday driver car. 155, 962. We're almost to 156. So, not even close to being due for its next oil change yet. I'm going to turn the air on and cool off a little bit. Alright. This thing's been doing real well though. I love this car. You guys also know this was also my Grandpa Mark's. He gave it to me, but my dad, of course, had to pay him money for it. But it's been a very good car for me. I've had no issues with it other than antifreeze leak, which was the intake. And I had a little misfire first, but I put 8 brand new coil packs in it. It already had good spark plugs and new spark plugs, so I didn't change those. What else? New starter. All that work, this car's perfect. It's not perfect, but it's still been a perfect car for me. It runs nice and smooth. It's going to be loud soon. I'm not leaving it quiet. I know it's an old man's car, but I don't give a crap. I'll do what I want with it, and I'll definitely enjoy it. I love these old man cars. A lot of people are embarrassed to drive one of these, but if you give me a town car to drive, I'll drive it. I don't care how young I am. I don't care how goofy looking the car is. I think it's cool. I love this thing. I still miss my 99. I love that one. But yeah. You know it's hot outside when the temp's already starting to move, but alright. Let's do the little 93 gutless 2.3 automatic Ranger. Looks like it needs some air in that tire. This thing is super gutless, but you know what? It's actually a fun truck to drive. The back brakes are still sticking on occasion. Not as bad as they were, but it's now finally drivable. My dad had to change a brake line to get it drivable. But my dad got a Virginia tailgate because the other one was broken. But yeah. And it does need a tune-up. It does run a little rough. Doesn't run the greatest. It just sputters here and there. But we've been actually driving this thing a good bit. It's been doing pretty well. It needs a big time clean. It needs a new seat because this one smells like piss. It stinks in here. But it has 115,619. This thing's been starting up awesome. Ever since we got new battery cables, been cranking fast. But my dad wants to 5-speed swap it. And this transmission's freshly rebuilt with like 3,000 miles on it. So look at that. All the cars have been starting fast today, except for the 86 Ranger. That one hasn't ran in forever. This one hasn't ran in, I think it was ran yesterday. We drove it yesterday. Quick and easy. Sounds great too. Wish the air conditioning don't work. You heard it kick on, but this is a different kind of system. Oh, it's blowing out of here. Oh, that's because it's on there. There we go. Yeah, that don't smell good either. That smells worse than the seat. This truck runs good, but when it gets warmed up, it kind of sputters a little bit. It probably needs a tune-up. I bet you this thing's never had a tune-up once in its lifetime, because I can tell it's probably only 115,000 miles. The truck's actually in good shape. This is actually the carpet out of the 94 Ranger Splash that we are not going to EcoBoost swap now. I convinced my dad to leave that 405 speed in it because I told him that'd be a great truck to drive if we're camping or something. He's actually brought that up first because it's got cruise control. It's just a perfect little truck. Might not be good on gas, but it's a fun truck to drive. But we got 2 more to go. Let's move on to my Jeepers. Where's the key? I haven't been driving this much because I filled it up because my dad heard from somebody that gas was going to go up 50 cents because of a hurricane that was going on. It's just been going down more and more, so I don't think it's going to happen, which will be great. But it's full anyway. I've had no issues out of this one either. This has just been doing really good. I love this Jeep. Yeah, I put Valvoline 1030 high mileage full synthetic oil in this. I think after it gets changed again, I'm going to put 540 Shell Rotella oil in it. So one of my dad's buddies says that's actually perfect on this engine with the minerals and stuff it's got in it and the high miles. So that's what I'll do. Probably even 540 or 1030, but it's not due for an oil change for a while. I'll prime this one because it sometimes cranks a little, takes a little bit. 234, 6 miles. Alright, let's give her a go. Yep, there it is. Jeep runs awesome. I want to get AC in this one too. It don't work, but this will cool me off somewhat. Alright, I'm going to pause the video for a second. Thing is, I took a shower, but I still wanted to be outside. This thing's running decent. Not running bad at all. I don't want to run it forever, but... Alright, let's shut it off. Oh yeah, I forgot a vehicle. I'll do that one last. I forgot one. But let's do the Navigator now. Drove it today, so it's going to be warmed up still. It was dead once again this morning because the door switch was acting up on the lift gate, because when it rains it leaks in the back, so it messes up the door switch, trunk ajar switch, or lift gate ajar switch, whatever you want to call it. But it wasn't acting up when my dad drove it last night, so, and he had the lights on, so he was like, okay, I'll just leave these on. Well, it must have been acting up last night because it was dead this morning. It didn't even try to crank, it just clicked. So it took 2 jump packs to get this thing started, because mine are not the greatest, but we used both of my jump packs and it finally got us to, it finally got it going. So, but it's fine now. I had it on the maintainer all day today while we were mowing, so it's good to go now. But this thing is filthy as crap. Inside too, it's got dog hair and shit all over it. Because my dad took this to Virginia to take my grandpa back. So it is a mess right now. But yeah, that cranks nice and fast. It's good. We've been running premium in this thing, and it does a hell of a lot better on premium. I'm not going to start that one up. Maybe I will, but 213, 3 miles. So, yeah, a little bit of timing guide noise, but not a big deal. Yeah, you can. Sometimes it's loud, sometimes it's not. You can probably hear it there. You know what though? It's been rode pretty hard lately, so yeah. It goes away when you rev it. Those will get done hopefully soon, but they come and go. It either makes noise or it doesn't make that much noise. So let's do that one. I'll just get her out of the way. You guys don't see that one very much. I'm just going to skip that one for now because my dad's fop's not in there. But when I do another one of these videos, I'll start it next time. I just don't want to piss around with it right now. But because we still got one more to do that I forgot. All right, 94 Dolphin diesel pusher is the last one. Went camping with it on June 19th through the 21st. Drove like over 2 hours, which was a total of 200 miles. This thing did freaking awesome. So it severely needs an oil change because it's still got really old oil in it. But the only thing we had to do on this trip is put one tire on it because it so dry rotted that it blew. But the other back ones are no better. The front ones are still good, but it drove on the tires, so that's good. But yeah, let's start it up. Hasn't pretty much been ran since June 21st, I think. Yeah, I'm still in the process of patching it more together. Got a few more leaks we got to take care of. But let's got 96,259 miles on it. So, all right, neutral, parking brakes on. Let me open the, let me put my phone closer to the engine so you can hear it. Because there's a mattress on there or some kind of bed and I don't want to move that. That's some kind of vacuum pump making noise if you guys were always wondering. I shouldn't put it there. I'll just set it there. It's not a good spot, but you guys will be able to hear it start good. Yeah, rattling, but hope you guys heard it good. I know the fuel gauge doesn't work, it bounces around, but I'm gonna let this thing run for a while, because this thing hasn't ran in a while and it's made to run, so I'll just let it run longer than all the other ones. But I hope you guys enjoyed of the startups, and I will see you guys in the next videos.